That's it right there, right there. Right out in the open in that green. Right out in the open.
Every May, there's excitement in the air at the McGee Marsh Boardwalk near Toledo, Ohio.
Can you see him? You see him?
Migratory songbirds have arrived from their long trip from South and Central America. And they pause on the shore of Lake Erie to gather their strength before continuing across the big water.
Seeing good birds? Yep. All right.
For Kim Kaufman, one of the organizers of what's billed as the biggest week in American birding, it's a magical time.
Essentially what we're doing is connecting world travelers, birds, and people in this amazing place in Northwest Ohio.
You still seeing Jen?
No. Oh yeah, he's back behind some leaves now.
Each year, crowds flock to ooh and ah over the warblers and finches and other beautiful songbirds.
You never know what you're going to find out there, so it's like a treasure hunt in some ways.
And the treasure is becoming even more rare. Figures show the populations of many of our most common birds are in steep decline, down dramatically in the past 4 decades. But still, birders, as they're called, keep coming. About 47 million of them, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Impressive numbers for sure, but a new birding craze?
Now, the key to finding birds is just look for movement.
British photographer Richard Crosley has his doubts.
Do you see birding as being very popular in the U.S.?
No, I don't.
It's not?
No, not compared to Britain or Europe or even other countries in the world. But it should be. That's the thing. It should be 10 times bigger than what it is.
Oh, I see him in the middle there.
I often tell people the only difference between America and Britain is over here there's 5 times as many birds, they come twice as close, they're everywhere, and the weather's over sunny. Apart from that, it's just the same. So why not?
Over in Indiana, the songbird's seasonal migration is celebrated too, only on a smaller scale.
You may be out birding on your own. You may say, hey, there's an oriole up in the tree. Let the teams know.
At the Indiana Audubon Society's Mary Gray Bird Sanctuary, there's a competition for young people to see how many types of birds they can find in a single day.
Purple finch. Check that one off.
For 13-year-old Alexandra Forsyth, it's also a chance to try to get some good pictures.
How many did you find?
We found 60 different species of birds.
Right here?
Yeah, exactly 60 of them.
And she has the pictures to prove it. Along with the purple finch, her snaps include an indigo bunting, a Kentucky warbler, and a ruby-throated hummingbird.
He's in the green leaf tree way up there.
But as beautiful as they are, when she's out in the woods, it's the sounds that charm her.
There are all those birds singing, and even though you can't see them, you can just hear how beautiful they are. Sometimes even the dullest birds have the prettiest voices.
So you hear it, but you're not seeing it.
Right.
There's possibility behind every leaf. These enthusiasts discovered their first ovenbird.
It's a great place to look for hooded warblers.
Oh, that's a pileated.
And that's a pileated woodpecker.
Major Randall Rogers and his fiancée Doreen Whitley met while birdwatching and found they shared a mutual passion.
Oh, I'm getting warbler neck. So you bird together. Couples that bird together stay together.
We flock together, something.
That's terrible. Let's stop right there.
Rogers brought his birdwatching zeal with him when he was posted to Iraq.
The diversity of wildlife in Iraq and the bird life is amazing. I found eventually 127 species of birds just on Al Asad Air Base where I was stationed. It can be a universal hobby. It can
Take
add
it with
to
you anywhere you go.
Yes, even to Iraq.
This is a very special place.
Well, this is where my book began.
In another part of Indiana, author Brian Kimberling found inspiration for his first novel deep in the Yellowwood State Forest. What did you know when you first came here? Did you know much about birds?
I didn't know anything. My boss gave me a cassette tape and said, this is birdsong. Listen to it, memorize it. You start Monday, you've got the weekend.
While in college, he was paid to count birds here. So just how does a professional bird watcher do it?
I would find a log like this, and I would have a granola bar and a swig of water and read Mark Twain for a half hour. And then after a half hour, nobody would remember that I was there, and I'd look around and see what was going on.
I always wanted to be a birder, an ornithologist.
For wildlife ecology professor Drew Lanham, birds are all about discovering the unknown and finding the opportunity to dream.
It's totally magical, and I still have dreams of these birds going places that I would like to go. And I imagine the miracle that each one of those birds is, and the places they've come from, and the things that they've flown over and through.
He dreams of seeing urban kids of all races getting excited about watching birds.
Now, you take anyone to a city park this time of year when birds are moving, they can see incredible things. They can see incredible things from incredible places.
Just takes a little looking.
Just takes a little looking and a little patience.
This is like a birder's paradise.
But if you want to get back to a more primeval place, that's a catbird?
Yep, now he's out in the open again.
A canoe trip down Ohio's Green Creek as part of the biggest birding week is a journey back in time.
I think that looked like an egret.
Tom Cashmere first paddled here more than 60 years ago.
You know what their color reminds me of? The perfect white. It can't get any whiter. Now, we usually see a lot of snakes on this creek.
Snakes, raccoons, and bald eagles can still be found here. For organizer Kim Kaufman, it's all part of a plan.
What we really want to focus on is people becoming birders, but then taking that step to becoming bird conservationists and supporting habitat conservation in the area.
And at least in this small corner of Ohio, there is indeed a bird habitat worth marveling over.